Welcome to the call today. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm going to talk to you about a topic that I'm very passionate about, and that's giving you, as a breeder, 3 ways that you can make additional income without getting another job this year. So, you're going to discover in this call how you make up for lost time. When life just gets in your way, things start to happen. It seems like everything is going sideways. Everything is careening out of control. And we're going to show you how to make up for lost time and to start to rebuild your wealth again, even in the middle of life happening to you, because it just does. It happens to all of us. We're also going to help you discover how, even with all your daily demands as a breeder, which is a lot, I understand you have a lot on your plate, how you can still, in the middle of all that, create some massive financial relief. And how I fell on my face a few times, but how I still was able to earn a 5-figure check every single month, even when I couldn't work or breed dogs. Also, we're going to show you how to get out of those cycles of just barely getting by. I've worked with a lot of breeders, and the most common thing I hear from these hardworking people is that they want financial freedom so they can have time freedom. This is very important to them, to do life in the ways that are most fulfilling to them. These are some of the big concerns most dear to their hearts. But most of the time, they don't think it's even possible because of the capacity with the type of work that involves them in this industry. So that's a big concern. I hear with these breeders that I work with. So, who is this call for? I'm going to get right to the point right now because no one wants to stick around and listen to meaningless information if it isn't for them. So I'm just going to get down to the point. So if you're sick of the financial rug being pulled out from under you just one too many times, this call is for you. Also, if you're making good money but you just can't seem to get ahead, no matter how much you make, this call is for you. If you're freaked out about retirement and you don't have assets or anything set aside, you really don't have anything going for you when it comes to your retirement, then this call is for you. How about this? If you're panicking about how in the world you're going to afford to send your kids to college when the time comes, or what you're going to do when they're out of the house and you have the emptiness syndrome, well, for us, we're worried our two will never achieve adulthood independence. Either way, that's the season we're all in. It's actually starting to happen right now. Well, if you're in that category, this call is for you. You definitely want to hear this out. Also, if you're in the category that you just want your own money to be able to do what you want to with it when you want to do it, then this call is for you. Here's my promise. I'm going to show you how to get caught up financially as a breeder without getting another job, without a pie in the sky, make money quick deal, or without having to go back to school. And I want to get very real with you. This is the reality. Most marriages end in divorce. The reality is, due to the financial strains on the families and the couples, divorce is a real issue. Also, there's a thing called outsourced careers. People have had their careers go online or offshore. They've had to go to other locations to find jobs. Well, I have a friend whose husband had to move 6 hours away just to get a job that enabled him to meet his family's financial responsibilities. So that's a really raw issue. Also, the recessions we've seen in the last few years, people have lost half their assets. People who are sending their kids to school, and you already have these looming school loans that you don't have any way you're going to pay them back, and you're responsible for them, but there's no way to get out from under them. That's a big reality. And of course, the crazy economy that's just going to do whatever it's going to do. And that's pretty scary. And this is also a reality. No extra cash to get ahead. So many families are in that boat. And the what I call the oh no fund, you actually don't even have it when the oh no hits the fan. The money set aside for when things go sideways. That's a very big reality. And even worse than that, families out there have no possibility of owning their own home, or at least they think they don't. And that's a sore reality right now. So what are you doing with your life? You might be asking yourself that question. And you might be saying, well, actually, I cannot even cut my budget even one more dollar. I'm also really tired of taking cheap family vacations. They aren't memorable to me, and I don't want the kids with those kinds of memories. That's all I was ever able to give them. And I'm definitely over the whole coupon thing. That's been over with for years, maybe when I was first married, but who's got time for that? So, does it leave you feeling trapped with absolutely no way out? The biggest problem right now, from what I hear, especially from the pet professionals, is that many are in my age range and the time is ticking. And every day it gets closer to retirement. Many of us have friends that have died of cancer or maybe dying of cancer, heart attacks, strokes. I don't want to get too morbid here. Or maybe you've already lost a spouse. I'm sorry. That's just horrible. And you as a person, you cannot rely on that. I've got plenty of time. You just can't rely on that anymore. So the government obviously isn't going to take care of you either. It's only going to get worse. And in our age range, we all have that worry. Will Social Security even be there when I hit 65? That's a big deal. Does your stomach flip? Does your stomach flip when you think about your retirement? Just sit there and marinate that for a while. Are you in a position where you're pretty comfortable and your education has taken you to an executive income status? Probably not. If you're listening to this video, you're at this point after you pay all your bills and you have no extra money to spare. That's a good question to ask yourself. Can your emergency fund take care of you for months on end without a worry? Now, there's a big panic button here. And if you're listening to those questions and you feel like pressing the panic button, you're in the right place. This call is definitely for you. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Stephanie Cook, and I started my breeding program in 2019 as a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to be home and present with my kids, my two kids on the autism spectrum. So I had heard that dog breeding was a way to make a significant source of income working from home. So we already had a love of Irish setters, and my children's childhood pet had passed, who was an Irish setter. So we gathered up a female Ruby and we started making puppies. And it took about 2 years to get everything rolling, but we finally had a litter. And we made our initial investment back. And I'm like, wow, profit mode. But quickly, I discovered something within our industry that even though you can make good money, there's such a high overhead. Lots of cost goes into raising dogs, if you're a breeder and you're doing it the right way. There's also a high risk of losing everything you've built. Literally overnight, things can go sideways. Because of Mother Nature is definitely in charge. When you're a breeder, you're not in charge. Mother Nature is. But I am really thankful I learned a big secret that helped me completely avoid the pitfalls that come with our industry and in our profession, or I would probably be in a big financial disaster today. So when it comes to taking time off in life, I've actually tapped into a secret. When I need time off, because of life, whether you have a family or you're in a family, it happens to all of us. There are problems that cause us to have to be off from work. Well, because of this big secret, I was able to continuously earn my checks, my 5-figure checks, month after month, even though I wasn't breeding or raising litters at that time. Now, have you heard of the Gen X effect? Well, the Gen X is my generation. Your generation, most likely, if you're listening to this call, we're a special generation. We made it. We've seen it all. We made it all. We lost it all. We started it all over again. We reinvented ourselves because we are resourceful. And now is the time that we should be able to do what we want to do. So just be encouraged as you're listening to this, and maybe you've gotten your heart rate up thinking, oh my goodness, I'm really in a situation here and I need to figure a way out. Well, you have what it takes. I just want to encourage you. You've come from that generation and we'll get it all figured out. And you are here in the right place with a solution that is going to help you. So we all want financial safety and security, and we want to learn how to make up for lost time because time is ticking by. It's not going slower, it's actually going faster day by day, I swear. Now, here's a little bit about my background. So, after getting hit by 2 recessions, we also had some major life events. My husband became unable to work and eventually became a 100% disabled veteran. Our children, which we had when we were 35 and 40, were both diagnosed with autism. So I needed to be home with all of them. I realized I had to do something to rebuild and secure our finances. So I started looking into my options. And I learned about a few things. First of all, there are two kinds of incomes. There's the now income, like you get when you work a job, and there's the residual income, it's like money you make while you're sleeping. In each of these ways, I'm giving you my pros and cons, the pro and the now and the later money. First, I looked into the stock market, investing in stocks. And some of the things I discovered with that is it's kind of like your breeding program. There are a lot of risks that come with the territory. The pros are, though, you can start with a little bit of cash, but it has to be extra money, spare cash that you can experiment with. Cash that doesn't matter if you lose it. Well, that was a problem for me because I didn't have any spare cash. Also, the pros of the stock market is that you can get big enough. There's a substantial dividends that come in residually. So people are making a lot of money when it comes to stocks. You can buy and sell. The buying and selling is the now money. Like you can get money in your fingertips right away if you know how to time things. The pros of the stock market and getting into that. The cons of doing the stocks, well, there's a great risk of loss. Just like what I explained to you earlier, you can lose your shorts overnight. There's a huge learning curve. with stocks and making money in stocks and bonds. And you need a trusting advisor, somebody you can trust with all your money to build your portfolio. And of course, there's a lot of volatility in the market. And you can lose it all in an instant. Like a friend of mine, she had her whole retirement in a portfolio and she thought she had a good advisor, but literally the tides turned and she lost it, the whole 100 grand overnight. The second thing I looked at was real estate. It looked like a good option. People are making a lot of money in real estate, but I realized it takes 10 to 20 grand upfront investment even to get your foot in the door. Investing in real estate or even learning about it and being successful in it. The pros, well, you can make residual money with rentals and Airbnb and whatnot, and you can buy and sell and make lots of money by playing the big market. Also, big pro is you have tangible investments and assets that you can call your own, and that really helps a lot. But the cons are this: you definitely can lose your shirt in real estate, and that scared me to death thinking about making such a big investment and then just hoping it would work. Other things was a learning curve. It totally overwhelmed me. Having this family to take care of and all the things on my plate, it was just too much. Also, you need to find a mentor who's willing to help you teach the ins and outs of their own business. I watched a lot of people make a lot of money, but it just wasn't something I wanted to do. The third thing was starting a new business. So I identified four types of businesses. A franchise. Again, that's a big money investment to do a franchise. The money, you can make it back, bringing it in now, and eventually earn residual on autopilot. But it was just too big of an investment for me. And of course, there was the corporate limitations. The other thing I looked into was a home-based business. Now that is income you can have coming in right now to help you with your financial straits, and it's also money that can be residual, and it can build up pretty fast. It's like in this particular business, you can quit your job in less than a year or so. So I like that. The third thing was a brick and mortar business. Again, a giant investment, needed a location and inventory, and everything seems to be going online. So it seemed futile. The fourth type of business I looked into, and I actually tried affiliate marketing, like with Amazon and eBay. Um, I, I, w- I had boxes of inventory, and I would go to the thrift stores, and it turned into a massive waste of time. I never made back my investment, and experience taught me that people that are successful in it took 5 to 8 years to really get good at it, and I just didn't have that kind of time. So I chose the home-based business because it was the fastest and most direct way out of our financial strait. It's provided me with time flexibility. I could increase my raises whenever I wanted a raise. I could set my own hours. Working from home, when I was done, and I'd put it all away and I'd go have fun with my kids. But I could also help other people, and that I really like doing. And another thing about the home-based freedom, I was able to travel to new places. Now, with my kids on the spectrum and my husband's challenges, we travel in the America. Travel to us is a big trip to Disney. We like the beach. We go on adventures. My son is a major race car fan, so we hit Talladega for NASCAR a couple of times a year. He's even started to get into IndyCar. Um, Also, I'm able to spend time with my husband and work on our mutual goals and enjoy each other's company. My daughter, she's quite the horse girl, and if you know anything about horses, you know that that is um, something you spend a lot of money on, and I'm so thankful that I'm able to provide those type of that type of support for her. And working with them at home. My daughter's graduated from high school. She's gone on. She works in a vet clinic. She's become a vet assistant, and her next goal is to become a veterinary technician. My son, he's not quite as advanced, but he has his own goals that he's working on too, and we sure have a lot of fun on our adventures. And if I had a job somewhere, I would miss all that. Um, so I chose let's see, where did I go? I got to talking and I lost my notes. Oh, there we go. And of course, so you might be thinking, now, Stephanie, just wait a minute. I've done this before and it hasn't worked. I could have been the one to get the consolation prize for being the biggest failure when it comes to doing a home based business. And maybe you're saying, well, it hasn't worked for my friends either. Well, I'll tell you, you're probably right. Most people in the industry do fail. There's crazy limited markets out there, like fingernail stickers or the next exotic miracle, or some opportunities that are just super labor intensive and they don't have any proven strategies. Also, these startup companies tend to fail in the first year or so, and that's a big concern. So I hear you, and you're right. 90% of all businesses fail because of the lack of proper training and support. So that's what I'm going to show you today. We have the strategic training. There are simple systems, actually, that are proven systems that I've used over and over again with professionals within the pet industry, such as yourself. And we've gotten proven leadership and corrective actions to take that are simple, duplicatable, and help you succeed. And this is what I plugged into right from the start working in my home based business. Well, is this right for you? That's a question you need to ask. A lot of people do fail because they are set up to fail, probably unknowingly. It didn't they didn't just have the right tools put in their hands. Now, creating a six-figure income without getting another job is completely possible. I want to assure you of that. There are two ways you can go about it. First, you can try to figure it out on your own. Lose more time, lose more money, maybe fail. Or two, you can get help from someone who's done it, someone who's paid the price, who's paved the way before you, and who can fast track it for you. So you have a choice. There are several options. You have several doors you could go through. So here's how I can help. I have set aside time next week to speak to you personally about fixing your current reality versus staying stuck for the rest of your life. It's a free consultation session you can have with me where I'm going to take a look at your current scenario. We're going to dissect it and just see what we can do to come alongside you to number one, increase your profitability with what you're currently doing, and number two, kind of like free up some time for you because you might be feeling really stuck. Like, where am I going to find the time to be able to create this extra income? So, I'm going to spend some time with you. We're going to look at all of that. It's completely free, it's a consultation, and I'm looking forward to coming alongside you. But who is this for? Well, if you're looking at having a consultation session with me, I want to make sure that you're really qualified to spend 45 minutes with me. And this is who I'm looking for. Number one, you must be committed to shaking things up and making big changes. Number two, you must be willing to invest in yourself, super hungry, teachable, and you just know you have got to have more. And you also know this is going to work for you. Also, you need to be really serious about doing it the right way. I'm committed to no failure. We don't want you to fail. So this is not going to be about jumping into a get rich quick scheme, looking for the next big thing. No, at all, this is going to be, we're going to talk about you. You must be willing to get off your feet and get moving. And the question you need to ask yourself, how much is this costing your sanity to stay where you are? Now, is your marriage and your partnership suffering? Do you want to be traveling more to have the ability to do that? How about your debt? Is that knocking you down and suffocating you? How about your kids? You know they're growing up and you're just not there. You're not present because of the time capacity and all the constraints that are on you to take care of everything else. And your kids, you're just missing out on doing life with them. How's that going for you? Also, can you live anywhere you would choose to live right now? Is that an option for you? Probably not. The last question I'm going to ask you is, how much will it cost you and your family to be in the same situation that you're in right now? 10 years from now. I mean, what's the price you're going to have to pay if you stay stuck? That's a real valid question to ask yourself. So how much longer are you going to wait to step into the life you want? That's my question to you. Here's a harsh reality check. You really need to decide for yourself if you're listening to this call. So the reality check is this. The average lifespan is 78. So where are you in this relationship to this? The time is ticking. It's ticking for all of us. And if we don't fix this, you will only have one shot at, or it's kaput for you. How many people do you know that are already in that phase of life, and the time nearing their expiration is coming soon? They have no legacy for their children, their family, and their future. That's a reality check. So where are you in relation to this? You need to ask yourself that honest question. So let's lay out a plan that you can be the one in charge of your time and your bank account and rise out of the ashes for good once and for all. How cool would that be to actually finally succeed at what you put your hand to and finally get the results that you need to change your life right now? So take the next step. Click the button next to this video and let's fix it as soon as possible. We want to help you like we've helped so many other breeders. Now, I want to leave you with this testimony I want to share before closing. This is one of the breeders that my team has helped. This is Chad and Christy from Ohio. Through this home-based business opportunity, they have been able to retire, sell their breeding program, and now they're living the life in their beautiful new vineyard they bought in the Czech Republic, all because of this amazing opportunity that my team was able to give them on a silver platter. And it was given to me as well. So the next step is for you to click the button next to this video. That's going to take you to Facebook Messenger where you and I connect. I ask you a bunch of questions about your life, what you've gone through, where you want to go. So please tell me as much as possible so I can determine if I can help you and if this is something you're looking for in your life and in your program right now. So if you had a financial rug pulled out from under you just one too many times, and for whatever reason, no matter how hard you work in your program, you just can't seem to get ahead, then we need to talk as soon as possible. Especially if you want financial independence, where you're not going to be depending on anyone else to take care of you when you're retired. So now, this may or may not be for you. We need to connect to determine this. So click the button next to the video and let's get the ball rolling in the right direction. So many breeders are making a good income, but they're unhappy because it's just a treadmill for them, unfulfilling, and it's pulling them away from their family. There are ways to earn an additional income without doing more of the same, but first we need to talk. So I'm looking to partner with a few top breeders so we can lock arms and achieve our goals together. This isn't one of those things where you're going to get to do it later, because 99% of the people who leave the tab open to come back to it never do. Then what happens? After 6 months, a year, 5 years go by and no change. So, will you be stuck in that same life you have today for 1 year from now if you don't make a change? And a quick question as we're closing here. Did you achieve the goals you set out to accomplish on New Year's Eve? Let's talk. Click the button next to the video, and then let's chat as soon as possible. I usually check my messages a few times a day, so I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for spending time with me here today, and have a great rest of your day.